My life blew up publicly.
News anchor at TV host na si Paolo Bediones nasa gitna ngayon ng isang controversial video scandal.
Mabilis na naging top trending topic sa Twitter worldwide ang TV5 host na si Paolo Bediones matapos kumalat ang di umano'y intimate video nito kasama ang isang di tinukoy na babae.
The significance of that sort of video being leaked in 2014 was so viral that according to the NBI, it was getting more searches and clicks than Kim Kardashian's. But here's what nobody tells you. I had the battery of my personal laptop replaced without me knowing that it was outsourced to someone else who broke into it. He found some very private and intimate videos, the kind that were never meant for public eyes. And for the next 4 years, he nonstop threatened to release them. And then, on a Sunday, July 27, 2014, early in the morning, it happened. Day by day, carrying anger, shame, embarrassment, and a lot of confusion in places that no one could see. I'm just here to share a few things that helped me start rebuilding real peace. I didn't find Stoicism because I was wise. I found it because I was tired of bleeding energy into things I could not control. I'm going to share with you 5 ways I started practicing Stoicism. Tip number 1, do not react immediately. The more I tried to explain, the more it felt like shouting into a storm that I could not control. Tip number 2, do not carry what isn't yours. At first I thought I had to carry it all. Every rumor, every headline, every assumption. I wore it like an armor. No, more like chains. Tip number 3, protect the story you tell yourself. And that was the much harder part. Tip number 4.
Paolo Bediones, a name that defined an era of Philippine broadcasting, news anchor, field reporter, documentarist, host of primetime TV. From the country's biggest newsrooms to the front lines of historic events, Paolo's voice became one of the most trusted in media. With decades of experience and a deep passion for storytelling, he returns with a renewed fire, not to relive the past, but to speak freely, think critically, and connect deeply. No scripts, no filters. Just Paolo, raw, relevant, and real. This is not a comeback. This is the next evolution of a media type. This is Paolo Bediones.
Everyone makes mistakes. Some we fix before anyone notices. Some we carry quietly for the rest of our lives. And then, there are the ones that everyone sees, the ones that define you, if you let them. I lived through that. There's making a mistake, and then there's making a mistake in public. You know, the kind where everyone gets a front row seat, where people you don't even know feel entitled to define you, where your worst moment becomes someone else's entertainment. That, my friends, is a different kind of pain. Because it's not just what you did, it's what you become in the eyes of strangers. I know that weight very well. Back in 2010, I had the battery of my personal laptop replaced without me knowing that it was outsourced to someone else who broke into it and stole my files. He found some very private and intimate videos, the kind that were never meant for public eyes. And for the next 4 years, he nonstop threatened to release them unless I paid him. I live with that hanging over me like a sword of Damocles every single night, every single day. I prayed he would change his mind. Every morning, I carried the same silent hope. Please, please, not today. And then, on a Sunday, July 27, 2014, early in the morning, it happened. My life blew up publicly.
News anchor at TV host na si Paolo Bediones nasa gitna ngayon ng isang controversial video scandal.
Nagpatulong na po sa pulisya ang TV host at anchor na si Paolo Bediones. Yan ay para mahuli ang hinihinalang nagpakalat ng kanyang sex video.
Mabilis na naging top trending topic sa Twitter worldwide ang TV5 host na si Paolo Bediones matapos kumalat ang di umano'y intimate video nito kasama ang isang di tinukoy na babae.
There were the harsh headlines, nasty rumors, the cruel jokes, and yes, for those of you wondering, I read all of them. Here's some food for thought. The significance of that sort of video being leaked in 2014 was so much more negatively impactful than one that's released, say, in 2025. Mine was so viral that according to the NBI, it was getting more searches and clicks than Kim Kardashian's. There were so many versions of me that weren't mine to begin with. And out of sheer exhaustion, I eventually stopped trying to set them straight. And to be honest, for a long time, I didn't handle it with wisdom. I didn't have some grand mindset. I just survived day by day, carrying anger, shame, embarrassment, and a lot of confusion in places that no one could see. And the truth is, when you're that broken inside, it doesn't just end with one mistake. The insecurity stays, the self-doubt lingers, and sometimes, trying to prove you're okay, you end up making even more mistakes. Not because you're bad, not because you don't know better, but because you're lost. And you're looking for yourself in all the wrong places. You see, there's a certain loneliness that comes after a public fall. It's not just the headlines that cut you deep. It's the quiet spaces, the way people look at you or whisper when you enter a room, the way that you start questioning if you are still the person you thought you were. Now, at first, survival looked like it was just keeping my head down, trying to outweigh the noise, hoping the world would move on faster than I could rebuild. But here's what nobody tells you. Sometimes the noise outside stops, but the noise inside, that keeps going. And that was the much harder part. Today, it's not just about public mistakes that get judged. Even private moments, things never meant for anyone else, can be ripped out of your hands, stripped out of context, and broadcast to millions. All it takes, one leak, one screenshot, one out of context moment, and suddenly, bam, you are on trial. No explanations, no humanity, just judgment. We live in a time when a private conversation, a voice note, heck, even a private joke can be dragged into the spotlight without warning. Where apologies, they won't buy you peace. They just invite even more angles, more outrage, more noise. Your worst 10 seconds can be replaced and replayed longer than your best 10 years. And if you don't know how to protect your mind, how to steady yourself when the whole world has an opinion, trust me, you will lose yourself completely. You see, sometimes the biggest losses don't make headlines. They happen inside of you when you stop recognizing the person looking back at you. I'm doing this now for 2 reasons. I've worked very hard to move past it and find peace, building strength and clarity over time. Now I'm back, ready to share what I've learned. This isn't about erasing the past. It's about standing tall and moving forward, because life isn't about outrunning your demons. It's about learning to face them and to live above them. The second reason is because the world that we live in now, it demands a different kind of strength, a quieter kind, a strength that does not rely on followers or forgiveness, one that starts and stays inside you. Because if we don't learn how to protect our peace in a world with systems designed to tear it apart, we're not just risking our reputations. We are risking who we become. I didn't find Stoicism because I was wise. I found it because I was tired of bleeding energy into things I could not control. I didn't learn it from quotes or gurus. I learned it from standing in the wreckage of who I thought I was supposed to be and realizing that no one was coming to fix it for me. Stoicism didn't start as some grand philosophy for me. It started with tiny little choices. And you know what? Over time, those small choices built something bigger, a life shaped by something much, much stronger than fear. Choosing to rebuild myself quietly even when no one was watching. Most days, it doesn't feel powerful. It felt invisible, small, unnoticed. But here's the thing. Over time, small choices became habits. And habits, they became strength. Real peace, that's not flashy. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up in the moments you stay calm when you used to explode. It shows up when you hold your ground without holding a grudge. It shows up when you realize you don't have to defend yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You just have to stay yourself. Me, I'm just here to share a few things that helped me start rebuilding real peace. So, I'm going to share with you 5 ways I started practicing Stoicism. Tip number 1, do not react immediately. Well, the truth is, obviously, I did react. I gave interviews. I tried explaining myself. I tried telling my side of the story, hoping that it would change something, hoping it would matter. But it didn't. The more I tried to explain, the more it felt like shouting into a storm that I could not control. And inside, I was still reacting. I absorbed every negative comment, every rumor, every cruel headline, even though, and please listen to this, 99% of the messages were full of support. I couldn't see them. I only saw the stones that were flying. I only heard the hate. I let the worst voices take up the most space in my mind. And for a long time, they defined how I saw myself. Now let's be clear, Stoicism, that doesn't erase the pain. It taught me how to deal with it. It taught me that peace isn't about pretending the hurt never happened. It's about refusing to let that hurt decide who you are. And when something painful happens, now I don't react immediately. I don't trust the first rush of emotion. I give it space. I breathe through it. Because not every fire is mine to fight, and not every opinion is mine to carry. And while I'm here, there's something I never got to say out loud back then to the people who stood by me, who reached out with kindness, with patience, with grace, even when I couldn't see it, even when I was too deep in the noise, too caught in survival mode. I would like to say thank you. And to those I hurt, directly or indirectly, because of my mistakes and the mistakes that followed after that, I am truly, truly sorry. I cannot erase what happened, but I can own it. And I can choose who I become after it. Survival was never meant to be the finish line. It was just the starting point. Because we're not here just to survive what breaks us. We're here to build something better after it. To live deeper, to live truer, to live free. So once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for believing there was still a life worth living on the other side of the storm. You were right. Tip number 2, do not carry what isn't yours. Wow. At first, I thought I had to carry it all. Every rumor, every headline, every assumption. I wore it like an armor. No, more like chains. But know this, not everything thrown at you belongs to you. I'm talking about other people's anger, other people's disappointment, other people's projections. That's their burden, not yours. The real turning point was in asking myself, is this really mine to carry? Now, if the answer is no, just let it fall. Not because I was pretending the mistake didn't happen, but because I was finally telling the truth to myself, for myself. And the truth was this: one moment, one mistake doesn't erase an entire life. The world loves to trap you in your worst 15 minutes. Well, back then it was your worst 15 minutes. Nowadays, it's your worst 10 seconds. But here's what I believe in. Your soul knows better. Your soul remembers the good you've done, the love you've given, the lessons that you're still willing to learn. And that's the truth that I choose to stand on. Tip number 3, protect the story you tell yourself. Letting go of what isn't yours is one thing, but once you put that weight down, you now have to decide what you're going to carry forward. If you don't choose your story, the world will choose one for you. And trust me, you probably won't like the ending. Now, let me be clear. I'm not talking about lying to yourself. I'm not talking about pretending mistakes didn't happen. I'm talking about telling the whole truth, not just the worst chapter. Choosing to believe that you are more than your mistakes. Choosing to remember the good that you've done. Choosing to honor the lessons you're still willing to learn. You see, protecting your story isn't about hiding from reality. It's about refusing to live trapped in the version the world would rather keep you in. You don't owe anyone a perfect image. You owe yourself an honest journey. Tip number 4, choose what deserves your energy. Once you reclaim your story, you realize you can't fight every battle. You can't explain yourself to everyone who misunderstands you. You can't chase every rumor down a rabbit hole, and you're not supposed to. If something demands your attention, it doesn't automatically deserve your energy. Once again, if something demands your attention, it doesn't automatically deserve your energy. Choosing your battles, that's not cowardice. It's wisdom, the kind that keeps you standing long enough to build something better. You know, most things, they really aren't worth trading your peace for. Tip number 5, return to center, no matter what. Even with all of this, even with everything that I've learned, there are still some days that I lose my footing when the noise gets in. But real strength isn't about being unshakable. It's about knowing how to come back. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just quietly. Peace isn't a place you reach once. It's a direction you keep choosing, no matter what. Some days the past will try to pull you back. Some days old mistakes will echo louder than they should. Seneca said it in many ways, but let me just put it very simply. Don't stumble over what's behind you. What's behind you taught you, scarred you, shaped you, but it doesn't own you. You're here to build what comes next. And that's exactly what we're here to do together. My name is Paolo Bediones, and this is PGMN. See you guys next episode. Hey there, PGMN fam. You know what's better than a day at the beach? A day at the beach with your kids. And let me tell you about this incredible hidden gem I found, Solarena Resort in Caba, La Union. It's the ultimate family getaway. Imagine this, waking up to the sound of waves, stepping out of a cozy seaside cabana, and watching your kids' faces light up as they run straight to the sand. At Solarena, it's not just a vacation, it's a memory-making paradise. We started our mornings at Casa Mana, at their beachfront restaurant, enjoying delicious meals with the most breathtaking view of the sea. The kids, they had a blast playing beach games while I soaked up the sun and maybe sneaked a quick nap or two. And when it got too hot, we all cooled off in the pool. Pure joy. But the highlight? Sunset at the sea view deck. The kids were so mesmerized as the sky turned into a masterpiece of colors. And at night, we gathered around a bonfire by the beach, roasting marshmallows and sharing stories. It was the perfect way to end the day. So, moms and dads, if you're looking for a family-friendly escape, Solarena Resort is it. Visit solarenaresort.com and let's create unforgettable memories with our kids.